Hello, how are you today? Easel Talk 11? I think it's 11. I could be wrong. I've got it in the computer at home. Well, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? We have a bit of a new lens. It should be tracking really nicely. We have a cup of coffee. We get good audio. Um, yeah, it's Sunday. Usually I do these on Monday, but I got this. I'm trying to do a figure in a landscape, and it's challenging. I came in just now to look at it. It's not too bad. I want to glaze it and give it another. Anyway, glowing color in painting. This is 5 strategies for getting glowing color in your painting, and we want the glowing color. As a matter of fact, that figure I'm working on, it's not gonna. I'm not the greatest figure painter, but if I can get it to glow, people will like it. Yeah. Yep. How do you make your paintings glow with light and intensity? Well, I have 5 strategies for you here. The core principle: contrast is everything. Here's a perfect example. You've got a tree silhouetted against a sunset sky. The dark shape of sheep. It could be a dark sheep. It could be a dark sheep against the sunset sky as well. Same difference. Uh, the darkness of the tree in this case will make the sky seem more luminescent. Now, if you've ever noticed, like with HDR photography, where it boosts all the light in the shadow areas. Um, that can, if you go too far with that, that can look really fake and bad. So that's sort of playing up, though. We want some contrast. Now, if you look at my work, yes, I've got a lot of contrast going. I can't escape it. By the way, the background drying area, most everything got coated, so not much back there. But what's exciting is in the easel talks, you can watch it grow week by week until Uncle Mike finally decides it's time to break down and start coating them. Okay. Light needs dark to exist perceptually. Okay, if it's all light, like light on light on light, you got problems. Yeah. You can't have glow without something that doesn't glow. This is the fundamental rule. To create a glowing effect, also let's talk about saturation, because saturation is definitely a component of the glow. You've got lightness, luminosity, which is always in opposition to contrast. But there's also saturation as a factor. And the thing you need to keep in mind, and I'm sure we're going to get into more detail as we go through our talk, is you want to have some aspects saturated, but you can't saturate the entire painting. This is a definite giveaway of amateur paintings when they're thinking, oh, I want this to really pop, and I want this to pop, and I want this to pop, and everything's pop, nothing's popping because everything's too saturated, too much color. Yeah. Ah, lady with her dog. Uh, you might need to mix a few colors, like you've got, say, oh, I want that orange to pop. You're probably going to need to, as you're going through and doing the painting, mix a few colors that are less popping, maybe a little darker. Yeah. Let's talk about the mental game. A great deal of what gives you a glowing result is your mental outlook and attitude. Oh, yeah, thanks, Mike. We love to hear that. No, it's true though. If you set out, like I am talking about this thing I'm trying to wrangle with here, I don't do a lot of figures in landscape, so it's like it's for a charitable auction I'm going to be involved with here. It's got to glow if I can't get anything else done. And that mental outlook is what's going to make that happen. Also, it's a perception thinking. If you can perceive the glow in others' work, like one of the reasons I really love pictorialisms is because they're always about that glow. Yeah. And the work of the tonalists is always about the glow as well. So let's just keep going. The mental game. All right. Getting the glow is something you need to feel first, then plan for, and finally work towards. Critical timing. When you think you have a decent result, it's usually a good idea to stop. That's where I am with my little figure thing. I'm sorry. I'll try and get, when I do my little walk-in at the beginning of each video, I haven't done that yet. So I'll do that, and then I'll show you that figure, because I don't even know if to make it in the channel. She's partially undressed, although it's not in your face. It's very tasteful. Fussing around with glowing elements will introduce muddiness. Now, how many times does that happen to you? You go, I'm going to paint that sunset. I'm going to paint it. It's so beautiful. I really feel it. I don't have a brush. I got a brush. This is a 4. Usually I'm holding up a 6, but trickle 4. By the way, first comment is my links page, and I think I made $5 last month. So that's, it's something. It's something. And what's great is it doesn't cost you anything to support me. So the treckle is magical, as is everything I use. They're all like, I've been grinding for a while, so I'm just right down to the best stuff. Check out the link. Planning for glow. Common glowing scenarios. Sunset, morning scenes with a lot of sideways light in the sky. Light coming through the leaves. I'm into it. Like the forest path, like we've got right back there. That's the one currently. Just came out Sunday. Just came out to my Sunday, your Saturday. Just came out on the channel. It's glowing. Interior scenes. Not my focus. But for, interior scenes like in people's houses, basically. Same principles would apply. The foliage and sky challenge. My approach is always to paint the sky portion in first. Now, especially true with like a scene like this one. Now it's looking a little matte and dull. It's in that ugly state. Not that I painted it ugly. I didn't. I did a good job. But yeah, you've seen me. I work everything out, the whole armature of the painting with my underpainting. And then you wouldn't believe this lens. You'll see it. It's got such a tiny little thing. It's a 28 millimeter. It's doing a good job. I think it's doing good. It's staying on me, hey? Yeah, so after that underpainting, I put in the sky, but that doesn't mean a lot of times after the whole rest of the values will come in. A lot of times, if you're watching my videos, you'll see me come in and push that sky a little farther, a little brighter. Yeah, conversely, when I'm working with the photography of my paintings, there's a lot of times I might push things back because the camera tends to overcompensate with the contrast. Yeah. I'm always dealing with that. You have to have an awareness of the from the sky, then we move into the darks, and then my strategy is always to bring from the darks of the landscape, they come up to meet the light of the sky, right? Now, and I'm sure I'll get into that later. This is, by the way, it's based on a chapter of my new book I'm working on. Which is coming along. I got a bit of work done on it this last week. I'm in the process of formatting the print editions, which is, let's face it, what I care about, because it's going to be chock full of my paintings and stuff. Yeah. So, the problem. You must have an awareness of contrast to the problem. Difficult, if not impossible, to have a bright white sky up against bright light foliage. So you need to decide what's going to predominate. You can't have both bright. And this is something too you'll see a lot with the paintings of amateurs starting out. And you got to watch out for that. You really do. Okay, yeah, I'm recording. All right. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Critical principle. One element needs to be brighter and a bit more saturated than the other. You always need to make that call. Sometimes I might decide to make the sky a little brighter, but I'll go with more saturation, say on the sunlit lit leaves, right? That can be a good decision. But you can't have the sky bright and saturated, the lightest leaves and the foliage bright and saturated. The whole thing will just start falling apart. Yeah, oh, I just said pretty much. Okay. My usual choice, I usually opt for the foliage to be a little brighter and more saturated in the sky. It depends. It depends. I'm always, every painting, every scene's different, but you need to decide how it's going to be. Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of times, if you're tracking me in the Substack Studio Pass or in the members area YouTube, and what's the difference? You're wondering, maybe you're a member of the YouTube. What am I missing with the Studio Pass? I'm already a member of the YouTube. Well, that's a great question because I've been doing the YouTube members thing for like 6 years. In fact, so long that I think if you go to the playlist area of my channel, I released like all the live real-time videos I did from 2019. And I might keep doing that. We'll see. But there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos there, real time of me putting paintings together. And that's there's not hundreds and hundreds in the Substack. The reason that the Substack came into being was a couple things. One, YouTube, I don't know if you know this, but it's turning into television, okay, which is fine. I love YouTube. They're my partner. They're great. And we're watching, you're maybe watching me, you might be watching me on Substack, which is better. Why? Well, if you go a few weeks without watching one of my videos for any reason, just going down some rabbit hole. I brought up macrame. I brought up macrame last week. Could be the thing. Yeah, looking into macrame. YouTube is going to make a decision. Am I going to show them some mic videos right now? You might be subscribed to hundreds or thousands of channels. So, yeah. So the Substack will shoot you a little email, and I never abuse it. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not going to do that. So that's number one. Number two, transcripts. I work very hard to make sure the transcript is scannable, tracks with the video, and gives you some tips and insights. So that's value. And then if you are in the Studio Pass, right, I got, first of all, I got the full transcript, which I think is amazing. I got the reference image there. I got the palette with the labels there. And the full-length video there. It's like such an amazing package. And I'll just be building and building and building. So it's a big win. It's a big win. And a great way to support me. I notice I've got a bunch of people joined last week. And I'm really happy because I work really hard to make great value there. Let's move on. Sorry. No one else is going to promote Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike's got to do it. And thank you for your support. If you haven't clicked like on this video and you're this far, please do. It's not hard. It's just push the thing. Also, comments are great. Nice one, Mike. That's not a hard comment to make. I don't blame you for not I'm not a big commenter myself, but it really helps. It helps promote the video. Moving on. Universal principle across subjects. Same principles operate everywhere. If you want a part of your scene to be glowing, it must be contrasted against something that is not. That's where we started. This applies to interiors, still life, and any subject matter. So you guys say, where's the glow going to be? How am I going to make this glow? Then you make it glow. 5 strategies. Now we're finding... My assistant, actually this was like a proper big gun assistant, and I really like the outline it prepared for me. So what I'm doing is I worked on these ideas and concepts a lot, basically 6 months ago when I probably wrote this chapter, and I just give that to to my assistant and say I want to do a talk, and it gives me an outline. Last week we struggled because the outline was crap. This outline's okay. We're making a good talk. Hey, we're doing all right. We're 15 minutes. I'm trying to do a half hour. If I go over, just forgive me. It's because these things so this is really a cool thing. I really love the way the Easel Talks have grown, and I hope you're getting value. But the idea that I've written a chapter And my whole approach from writing the chapter was anything I could think of, and I really dug deep, really tried to get so that this book I'm working on is a giant resource, like almost encyclopedic of my take on every different aspect of landscape painting. So, but I try not to go. I don't try not to pad it. There's some padding going on now because we're talking, but it's based on that chapter. All that information's in the book, and then at some point you'll have access, like maybe any digital copy of that book or version of it or anything it's used for. This talk could be attached to it. That could be, glowing colors a thing. It's a great thing. 5 strategies for glowing color. Number 1, work on a colored ground. Yeah, man. Deep earth. Or red. Or even, if you look at the channel, I worked on straight up masonite for a long time. It's not bad. Why did I stop? Are you interested to know? Well, I'll tell you why, because there's that speckly thing going on. And if you look at my paintings closely, you'll see a lot of times there's quite a bit of the ground color peeking around stuff. That bit of variation, I think, can be distracting and would slow me down. They have to clean that up. So I don't want to be slowed down. I want to make my statement and get her done. Okay, so working on a color ground. I like reddish of some type, but some people like yellow, some people like gray. Gray is not going to do much for you as far as glow. Although you can do, like when we think glow, we do tend to think yellow and stuff. You can get glow in a bluish painting. Oh, there we go. I think we get a little better photography with the overcast, but you're seeing the skylight here. I don't have the lens like a little hood for this lens yet, but it's coming.
Did you know you could buy the book landscapepainter.co.nz? The book cost $65 US. Did you know?
Yeah, so why does this work? It sets up an interesting juxtaposition. That's a great word, juxtaposition of colors from the very first brushstroke. You are working against that red. And it supports the sky, it supports the foliage. It's a big win, and it's the foundation of tonalist paintings. I don't have to tell you that. Well, maybe I do. It's in the book. In fact, I have a whole chapter on painting on colored grounds. So we'll keep moving. When I paint a patch of blue or any color like that against the red, it has a vibrancy and intensity immediately, and that is one of the keys of tonalism. That's difficult to achieve if you're working directly over white. The people have strategies for that. Wrong channel if you're I like to paint on white person. There are plenty of painters that do, so maybe check out their channel. Okay. Yeah, you got bits of the red peeking around things. That creates vibrancy, and that sets up the glow. Yeah, and this the ground color. It supports you throughout the whole process. Like mostly the number one way. Actually, we're not going to talk too much about colored grounds, but I'll slip it in now because it can peek around. You don't have to go in and fill up every little bit, which messes with the immediacy and expressiveness of your strokes. You don't want that. That's a whole other talk. Strategy 2. Setting up the reference. I get a glowing quality by setting it up in my initial painting reference. Again, another talk, and you've heard from me, and I know a lot of you just want to paint. You don't want to mess around with the Photoshops and stuff. But again, I will tell you that is like one of the main things you can do to improve your painting is start learning to mess around with your reference and make that a part of your creative process. Moving on. And as a matter of fact, I'll go over it. This should be its own talk. It will be. But it's okay. This is the thing. We have nestled. It's like Russian dolls, right? And everything's nestled inside. Right now, the big doll is the glowing color, but nestled inside that is all these other principles that could there be their own talk. Yeah. Okay. Photoshop approach. Ramp up certain colors and areas of contrast in Photoshop with intention of executing in Paint. Yeah. So you've got an idea that I want to do this red. I want to do this blue. I want to do this yellow, and set it up. Get it pre-planned. Many times I will overdo it with the photo, push it into more garish territory because I want to have that extra stimulation when I'm painting. Yeah. This isn't foolproof. There are times I found myself painting desaturated and undertone work from reference that was highly saturated. As a matter of fact, that's like every painting. When I'm putting those reference images in the Substack, there's a lot of times I just turn down the saturation because I tend not to paint my paintings as saturated as the reference is set up. Okay, so the purpose of this is give yourself permission to be bold with the reference, express yourself with the reference. Just start doing that. Try things. Yeah. It's better to have too much color information in your reference image than not enough. And you can always dial it back while painting. The reference is a guide, not a prison. Yeah, again, it'd be its own whole talk. It's a mountain of information that could be exploded out there. Strategy 3. Saturation, strategic saturation. Saturation means the color is very vivid and intense, by the way, if you're not familiar with the word. Lots of times, too, I might use the word chroma, intense chroma. The paradox. We touched on this earlier in the talk. To get intense color quality, not all the colors in your painting can be bright and saturated. Pick your battles. Like in a sunset, you might say, I'm going to have a really intense orange here, and then I'm going to go even farther with a yellow, a very intense yellow, and really make it pop. But again, you can't do that everywhere. Yeah. And I like to do that in the sky, usually somewhere around the horizon or where the strongest light is. Sometimes the edges of clouds catching light. But sparingly. Always as accents. The most saturated bits of your painting should be accents. Don't do big, an expanse of anything saturated because it usually will backfire. Now that rule can be broken, and but you're messing with stuff there. You better keep your eye on it. Okay, we need to keep rolling here. Oh yeah. 4. Oh, yeah. Critical principle. If everything is saturated, then nothing is saturated. How to implement. Have areas that are a little more grayish or dull that offset the intense colors. These subdued areas are not failures. They are essential supporting players. They make the saturated areas sing. Yeah. And this is, I have got to tell you, painting is kind of a mental exercise. So play with these things, try things out, experiment. And the great thing about painting is you build and build and build. It's like, it's like a layer cake. It can get pretty high, and pretty yummy. Yeah, a common mistake is painters try to make everything vivid and intense. This kills the glow. Oh, it's going to be, I guess I'm doing okay. I'm trying for a half hour, folks. Strategy 4. Apparently, those are the types of expressions that are good for thumbnails. We'll see how we go. Deep shadows for contrast. You know I'm going to give you some deep shadows. I love my deep shadows. And I used to have a lot more of a complex about it. Now I just embrace it. This is how I like to paint. This is what resonates with me. Yeah. Where I like to focus the deepest, darkest parts of the landscape are always the vertical elements against the sky. And you, this will be a whole nother talk, but because contrast is a major thing, a major part of painting. Um, the darkest bit against the lightest bit, that's your focal point. Lots of good stuff in this talk. Typically, the sky is the brightest thing in your painting, and typically the darkest bits will be the trees up against it. If everything is dark, there's no contrast. If everything is light, there's no contrast. You need to have a balance. Think of the yin yang symbol. And maybe I go too far, maybe I do, but I'm a fan of contrast, and I'm a fan of using it for emotional resonance with my work. Yeah, yeah. Don't be timid with your darks. Push them darker than you think you need to. The deeper the shadow, the more the glow. I gotta laugh because, yeah, I got problems, man. That's how I do everything. Now, strategy 5, targeted highlights. Inject areas of intense lights into the sky. This is seldom as intense and bright as pure white. I never go anywhere near the pure white in my painting. Never. But if you are following me along in the areas where you can see the live real-time painting sessions, many times you will hear me say, this is going to seem too bright as I put it down. But this is the thing. If you're going to be having a lot of darkness in the painting, you need to have a lot of light as well. And this is something I realize. I've told this story time and again. But I struggled with this. If you look at my oldest work, a lot of which isn't video recorded, stuff from 2010 through 2014, 15. A lot of times I'm just too middling, and my own misinterpretation of the tonalist ethos. Okay, you want more contrast, and my eyes were open up to this, not so much by the tonalist, but when I had a trip to the Louvre, it was back in, I don't know, 2014, I want to say, 15. I had an epiphany that their paintings were dark, but they always had areas of intense light that would make the painting work. Okay? Deep shadows for contrast, targeted highlights, yes. Areas of intense lights in the sky. Yeah, you want to use quite a lot of white and yellow in certain areas. Pump it up. And again, in these light painting sessions, you'll see a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, just to get that perfect. Because it's always good to remember that the lightest portions of your paintings will be the most attention getting, and you need to be strategic with that. And that's why we have strategies. We have strategies for getting the glow. Let's just keep going here. Yes, pump up the contrast to create offset against more pure and intense colors. And yeah, that's one thing I'll do. So I may just put some almost like a white with a little bit of like titanium buff, a little bit of yellow in it, up against one of those saturated colors. It says I'm white. I'm not saturated white, but you can't use just plain old vanilla white. You've got to moderate it. You've got to moderate it. Where to place them? Yeah. Edges of clouds, close to the horizon sometimes is good. Lately I've backed off of that a bit, but that's just because I'm playing with other ideas. I like to have almost more of a kind of a light neutral gray against the horizon, but for a long time I was perfectly content to bring the really light brights up against the horizon too. Yeah. And if it's not like a painting where the horizon's an actual feature, like a coastal scene, that can be even more effective, to have things brighter as a bottom. Definitely you want to have a progression in your sky, and that'll be another talk. Yeah, I highlighted this. Another 200 of these we can do, and heck, by the time we get there, I'll think of a bunch of other stuff. We'll work on our next book. Because it's not infinite, but it is vast. Landscape painting is vast. And I, with the help of my assistants, will teach you. And what's really great is that Humanity's traipsing into, yes, it's going to be a little tricky as people losing gerbs and whatnot, but ultimately human beings will be mostly engaged with doing things they want to be doing. And I think painting is perfect for that. So I've got the stuff to help you learn how to paint. And if you're in the future, I was in the past working for you. And here we are. Okay. Let's bring it all together. We're not that far off from a half hour. We're bringing things together. Critical understanding. Creating glowing color is not about any one technique, but rather the thoughtful combination of several complementary approaches. The trinity of glow. You have contrast. Oh, we got to make three. Contrast, saturation, careful modulation of color, gradual transitions, not jumps. Oh, we're just now touching on that, but you always want to think about if you've got something glowing, it's obviously probably a bit more bright and intense than something else. Always got to be reconciled, right? Every part of your painting ties back to every other part. Yeah. Okay, that's great stuff. The Trinity of Glow. What not to do. Getting the glow is as much about what you don't do. Don't oversaturate all your colors. Stop. Stop. Please. Please stop. Don't overwork passages once you got the glow. And that could be its own talk, another whole talk. But it's looking pretty good. Just leave it. Just leave it. Look, you're not going to make that perfect. You've got to develop your sense of when to walk away. Like, this is pretty good? Okay, good. And lots of times, trust me, if you left it alone, left it fresh, you come back the next day and you go, hey, that's fine. That looks pretty good. I'm happy. Now, if your mindset might have been the day before, oh no, that's not the way. Don't do it. Don't make everything bright. Don't forget to plan your contrasts. Dark against light. Make it interesting. And don't keep fussing when you've achieved the effect. Gosh, this is great advice. These restraints are as important as the techniques themselves. They are. The development process with patience and practice, you will develop an intuitive sense of how to achieve that elusive, luminous quality. The back of my book. Where's my book? I had it here the whole time. I can ship it to you now. The post office has got their head out of their keisters. Right in the back. Get the glow. Have you ever wondered how the great landscape painters of the 19th century got the incredible luminescent glow that suffuses their paintings? Sadly, it's practically guaranteed that the glow cannot be achieved using the techniques and teaching of most current art instruction books. This is the one you want! This will get you the glow. That and this talk, yeah, all those points are, not all of them, because that's designed to be kind of this overall how-to book. That's why you're going to want that book, and you're going to want the big book. Moving on. With patience and practice, you will develop an intuitive sense of how to achieve that elusive, luminous quality. It becomes less about thinking and more about feeling. And I don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about it because I've been doing it a long time. Yeah. But one of the things about this whole book process that I've done was just to go deep mentally into processes that I do unconsciously, to pull them up and give them to you. Everyone's different, but one thing that always helps, I think, is to explicate things, to dig into them, put the flashlight on them, and reveal how you do it. That's what I'm about. My way. Lots of other painters out there teaching, doing their thing, don't really mind what they're doing because here I am doing my thing. Mental outlook revisited. Remember, a great deal of what gives your glowing result is your mental outlook and attitude while painting. Wow, there's a lot here. Feel the glow. First, Plan for it second, execute it third. Know when to stop. Gosh, this is good stuff. Closing. The essential truth about glow doesn't live in the bright colors alone. It lives in the relationship between light and dark. Saturated and subdued. Intense and quiet. 5 strategies recapped. You colored ground. That's number 1. Enhanced reference. Make it pop in the reference. Come on, you got some insipid, boring reference and you're going to make a glowing painting from it? Think about that. That's not such a great plan. Strategic saturation. Not everything can be intense. Pick a few things. Make them intense. Then you're going to get the glow. Deep shadows. Make the light possible. Targeted highlights. That's what people really focus in on. And I will be honest with you, I think one of the hardest things for me to paint is like you got the sunset and there's rim lights on the clouds. I've done it. It's acceptable. But, yeah, I'm always working on mastery of that. Yeah. The paradox, remember, to make something glow, you must be willing to make other things not glow. Yin and yang, my friend. Yin and yang. That's my version of you can't have your cake, eat too. You gotta throw something out. Next time you paint, choose one element that will glow, usually up in the sky. Could be them leaves and stuff too. Make everything else support that choice. Push your darks darker. Then you might feel comfortable. Experiment with that. Stop when you think you've got it. You think you got the glow? Stop. Walk away. Come back. Because it'll take some practice and a little bit of tweaking to get that. And resist the urge to fuss with it. That's just great advice. Turn that into its own talk. Final thought. The magic of glowing color is not in any secret technique. It's in understanding relationships, having the courage with your contrasts and knowing when to walk away. That magical sense of light you're after, it's already in your power. You just need to give it the darkness it needs to shine. Darkness, my friends. You can't see the light without the dark. So, did you click like already? Thank you. Thank you. How can you support me? I tell you what, this lens came from support of a friend of the channel. And I think it's looking good. I hope it's looking great. I'll be getting it home, and now I got my settings all dialed in. We'll see exactly how good it's working out. This recording device, I am very thankful, and you will be too if you're in the Studio Pass or the YouTube members area. I can't do anything about videos from the past, but one of the big complaints I had is, Mike, you sometimes you speak clearly like now, and then lots of times you just mumble, bro. You're mumbling, son. Well, this picks up the mumbles. And sometimes those mumbles can be really good. And that's what I really like about the light painting sessions, because we're there in the trenches together, figuring it out right then and there. And it's one thing to have this kind of overview talk like we're having now, and I think that's valuable. But what's even better is, I think, in the trenches, oh, I'm going to try this. Oh, yay, I did it. That kind of thing. And now, thanks to the technology in my pocket, I can get you better audio. So that's great. So, yeah, support me through the Studio Pass, the studio links, click the likes, give me a comment. Come on. YouTube is busy being a television now. So tell YouTube that you like this content, please. And until I come back with another video for your, hopefully for your edification and enjoyment, do me a favor. Do me a solid. Take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones. Stay out of trouble. And
Did you know you could buy the book? Landscapepainter.co.nz. The book cost $65.